Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day. Having a pretty good day here, nice and sunny here. It's awesome. I'm hoping that eventually it'll start to actually feel like spring now that we're into April. Can't believe we're into April. It's still so cold. Still no cherry blossoms in Vancouver. That's so weird. But at least we're seeing some sun, so that's good. So I wanted to talk about changes because right now I am running a 21-day clean eating and workouts group. We just started officially today, and I have a lot of people in the group that want to make changes. And really, that's who I deal with every day with what I do for a living is people who want to make changes. So they're wanting to make changes to their eating habits. They're wanting to exercise more, all sorts of things. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because I see people who are super successful. I see people who are not so successful, and I see them get frustrated. And I've experienced that myself many times where I've been unsuccessful at something, gotten frustrated, and then I was successful at something, and I thought, what decides whether or not we're successful? I mean, obviously it's us because we get to decide what we do and how hard we work for something. But what I found interesting, and I was just actually reading this yesterday, there's an actual whole psychology behind it, which makes sense. And there's even a name for it. So two psychologists, Don Kelly and Daryl Connor, coined this the emotional cycle of change. And I found it really interesting because when I was reading it, I was like, holy cow, I've been through those changes. I've gotten to the one stage that they're talking about, and I've been stuck there, and I've failed at it, and I've also had times where I've gone past that and I've been successful. So I just thought it was so interesting, and I thought I should share that with you guys because I know when you're trying to make changes and you get stuck, it's frustrating, and it's easy to really want to, give up because it's comfortable to go back to the thing that you knew. But maybe if you know what the different stages are, and when you get to that stage where you want to give up, maybe if you understand it better, you won't give up. So that's why I talk to you guys about this. Hey, Stephanie. Hi, Ken. So there are actually 5 stages. The first one is uninformed optimism. I love that term. Uninformed optimism. So this is stage 1. This is where you are super excited. You've got this goal in mind, you've got this vision, and everything seems awesome, and all you can think about is the benefits that you're going to get from this, and you're starting to brainstorm about how you're going to make these changes, and it's just a really fun part of the whole process. Unfortunately, it doesn't last super long. So then what happens next is informed pessimism. So shortly after you experience that first stage, you move into informed pessimism. And this is where you start to realize the amount of work that it's going to take, and you start to realize the discomfort that you're going to experience to try and get there. And this is where you start thinking, maybe the benefits aren't really worth it, maybe it's not that important to me, and you're starting to kind of look for reasons to abandon the effort. And I've been there most recently with my business. Just gotten to a point where it's like, oh, maybe it's not so important to go for this goal I'm going for, and trying to think of reasons why I should just, abandon it and not do it. So that's a very normal part of this cycle. So then the next one, stage 3, they call it the Valley of Despair. And I was there not too long ago, probably just a few months ago. I was right there in the Valley of Despair. It sounds terrible. It feels terrible at the time, and this is where most people give up. They've been making changes to get to their goal, to realize their vision, and they're just not seeing the benefits. They're seeing all the work they're putting in, they're feeling that discomfort, they're feeling that pain, but they're not seeing the benefits yet. They haven't started happening yet. Hey, Isabella. Hi, Robin. So this is where most people are like, screw it, it's not working, and typical human behavior is that we want to be comfortable. So then we start thinking, well, where I wasn't really that bad, so why don't I just give up this struggle and just go back to where I was? But we all know if you give up and you go back to where you were, eventually you're going to be unhappy again because there was a reason why you made this goal for yourself. There's a reason why you want this. So when you're in this stage, it's super, super important to have a really clear and compelling vision and goals. This is why I ask people to write their goals down and keep them handy so that they can look at them and to attach an emotional reason to why they want to reach their goals. Like, this is where you're going to sink or swim. If your goals and your vision aren't clear and they're not compelling to you, you're definitely going to give up at this point and you're not going to see success. So this is where you have to look at those goals, remember why you got into this, and just be like, okay, you recognize that you're in a low stage, you're feeling a little negative, but also recognize that you are about to see some change, because this is the part right before you see change. This is where most people give up. You know, you've heard that saying that most people give up right before they're about to succeed. This is the valley of despair. And it's not fun to be in, but, you know, just when you realize that you're going through these stages, when you get to the valley of despair, like, sure, it sucks to be there, but you can, you know, you can think about it logically. You can think, okay, this is supposed to happen. It's not abnormal for me to be here. I'm not a failure. I can do this. And so you stay with it. You stay the course. So then stage 4, informed optimism. So this is where things start to pick up a little bit. This is where you're starting to see some of the benefits. So the thing that you're working for, that you're working so hard on, all of a sudden you're starting to see some of those benefits. So, like, for instance, if it happens to be weight loss, this is where you start to see a little bit of weight starting to come off. And also, the great thing about this part is that the things that were really uncomfortable, the actions and the thoughts that were uncomfortable to do in the beginning because they were new, are starting to become routine. So now you're starting to feel a little more comfortable with the discomfort because it's becoming part of your routine, and you're starting to see something. You're like, oh wow, I feel like I'm almost there. I feel like I can do this. So this is where you start to feel more optimistic. And then stage 5, success and fulfillment. So this is where all of your hard work pays off. This is where your the new thoughts and the new actions you've been doing have now become quite comfortable, because now they're just part of your routine, part of your day. And this is where you're seeing your success. And this is also where you gain your confidence to go for that next change, because when you succeed in something and you prove to yourself that you can do that, even though you had to go through some crap to get there, you know that you can do it. You know that you're strong enough. You know that you can stay on it, that you can push yourself through, and you can do it. So this is, you know, the best stage to get to. And sometimes what happens, and it's happened to me, you get into that valley of despair, you can't pull yourself out, and you go back to stage 1. And you sit there for a while, and all of a sudden you start thinking about your goals. This is actually what happened to me a few months ago with my business. I was in that valley of despair, and I did go back to stage 1. I got to a point where I was like, you know, I really do want to achieve my goal. I really want to do this. So that's where I started feeling optimistic, in that uninformed optimism, and then into stage 2 where informed pessimism started to come in, and then into the valley of despair again. But I recognize that that's where I am, and I know I can come out of that. So I just love the way that they explain this. I love understanding why I'm going through something, because when I can understand something and I can understand that it's a normal thing and it's a part of the whole process, I can get through it, because it's not like I'm the only person it's ever happened to. It's not like I'm doing something wrong. It's just a normal part of the process. So, you know, this is a pretty cool thing to know, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'm really happy to share it with you guys. Hey, Richard, how's it going? Hey, Stephanie. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope you got as much out of it as I did, because when I read this last time, I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome. I love this. Because we all go through hard times, and typically when you're going through hard times and when you feel like you're not doing well, you kind of feel like you're alone, and you almost kind of isolate yourself because you don't want to admit to people that you're not doing so well. So you kind of don't tell anyone about that. That makes you feel more alone. But now you know that that stage is normal. Now you can, you know, maybe share that with someone who can help you. So which is what I did. I reached out to my team of masterminds for business building. I belong to this team of amazing women. And I reached out. I was just like, you know, I'm struggling. I'm really not doing well. And I got into some training and watched videos and stuff like that to get more training, and started applying what I learned. And now I'm back on the upswing. So, you know, you can do it. And it helps to reach out to people. It really helps to be a part of a team. For years, when I first started my business, I was alone. I didn't know who to talk to. I would reach out to people in the same kind of business as me, and they wouldn't talk back to me. And it's like, well, I'm just, you know, asking for some ideas, but nobody seemed to want to help me out. It wasn't until I became part of this team of women just over a year ago that I really started to see some big changes, really got excited about things, and it's been such a great thing. So if you are really struggling with something, Find someone who can help you out, whether it's a group of people doing the same thing. That's what I highly recommend, because when you've got a group of people, you got lots of brainstorming going on. Or just reach out to someone who's an expert. So for instance, if it's health and fitness, reach out to me so I can help you. I'm here for you for sure. Hey Kimmy, hi Sherry. So I have to run, and speaking of my team, I'm going to be chatting with them this evening. We do a Monday night video call so that we can all stay close and talk about what we're going through and brainstorm on stuff. So super excited about that. If you have any questions about any of this, or you need some help with anything, always feel free to message me. If you want to check out more of these types of things, you can go to my blog, holyfit.ca. I also have a YouTube channel if you want to see some silly little exercises and stuff. There's like, I've got, I think, over 500 videos now. So just go to YouTube and search Holy Fit, WHOLEYFIT, and you can see some workouts and do them if you want to. All right, so I got to run. You guys have an awesome evening. I will talk to you again very soon.